Hello and welcome to the Money Compass. In each of our Money Journey episodes, Julie brings to you a special guest to share their treasured memories along with the highs and lows of their very own unique and emotional money journey.
So welcome everyone to today's episode of the Money Compass podcast. And today I'm joined by Shelly Shulman, who's going to be talking to us about her money journey. So Shelly, if you just want to introduce yourself to all our listeners.
Hi everybody, great to be here. I am Shelly Shulman and I'm a business coach and I can't wait to talk about money.
Oh, excellent. So Shelly, can you tell us what's your earliest money memory?
My earliest, I kind of have two earliest memories of money. So the first is always my mum and dad arguing about it on a Monday morning. So my mum used to sit there with the books and balance it all out. And my dad's a bit like me. My dad's a bit of a spender. And so she would be frantically trying to balance the books whilst dad was like handing over like card receipts and stuff for, ironically, shoes that he's bought. So I know where my shoe addiction came from. So I always remember like money being, you know, something that people argued over. And there wasn't a lot of, because that was the conversation, you know, we don't have the money to do this, we don't have the money to do that. That was what I heard a lot of it back in my childhood. But then that was reinforced because I had grandma who at Christmas and birthdays would send us like a cheque for £5, or I think one year it was £2. It must have cost her more to post a cheque than anything else. But she would actually, ironically, she would spend more on her other grandchildren who lived closer to her. They were, you know, I knew they were getting new bikes and things like that. So for me, it was almost like, okay, well, we don't have the money to do this. And actually, I don't deserve any money because other people don't want to spend their money on me. They're the earliest memories of money that I do have.
Yeah. And they do say those money mindsets come from like before you get to the age of 7. So that's quite a kind of negative kind of mindset really, really early on. So Shelly, I'm really interested to hear what your money journey has been with that as your starting point for you.
So with that, I was terrible with money, absolutely terrible. So I was the person, so when my mum and dad did start giving me pocket money, I would spend it like straight away. I'm still not a saver, which isn't great. It is something that I need to look at. But, you know, I just spend straight away. And I just had the attitude that, okay, well, it's there. Can't take it with me when I go. So let's just enjoy it while I've got it. And I lived paycheck to paycheck. I was never a planner. I wasn't forward thinking. My husband and I moved in together when we were 18 and got a mortgage when we were 18. So really, really young. And that's back in the day when I think the average weekly wage, I think I was getting £220 a fortnight. Yeah. So it's mad now thinking back at it. I was explaining it to my kids the other day and even they were like, how much? And I was like, yeah, that was it. You know, we had like less than £500 a month to do everything. So it was interesting to look back at that. And I ran up debts, I ran up credit card bills, because I always wanted nice things. I always felt the need to keep up with the Joneses, but I ran up massive amounts of debt. It was, you know, it was ridiculous. I turned 18 and got my first credit card. And then my husband and I split up briefly. We sold the house and we got quite a nice payout from the house. That went, couldn't tell you where that went. And then ironically, we got back together. I fell pregnant. We went to get a mortgage on another house. And the mortgage company actually mucked it up and put us through for like a rent to buy mortgage, which wasn't what it was supposed to be. We got declined. And then, of course, once you've been declined for a mortgage, you know, that's it. So that then mucked us up. So we had no alternative. We ended up in a council home. So all of these things are just reinforcing, you know, that money story. That's, you know, what I'm supposed to be doing. And it was like that until... well, I'm 43 now, but it's been like that since about 2017, you know, until I learn about money mindset and until I learn what money blocks were and how to address them. Yeah. Then I was like, it was a penny finally dropped. And all of a sudden I was like, oh, so basically, Dad, it's your fault. But, you know, in the nicest possible way, it was like, I'm just repeating those patterns of seeing people with nice things and people buying stuff on credit cards and everything else. And whereas now I was still £16,000 in debt at the beginning of 2020, and that is now gone.
Excellent.
I'm now debt free.
Yeah.
And I don't want to say I have a better relationship with money, because yesterday I went out and spent £600 on a Mulberry handbag, and I spent £600 on face creams. However, in my defense, I was in a situation where actually they said to me, "What's your budget?" And I was like, "Oh, I don't really have one," because I didn't realize that there were face creams that were like £500 at that point. And they were just doing their job. They were upselling. So I ended up getting a face cream that I didn't realize it was £200. But as much as it went through, I didn't have a sense of, oh my God, what's just happened? I can't afford that. And it was yesterday, it was almost like I felt like I had come full circle and I could just go out and buy something without actually having to worry about it.
Yeah.
So it's certainly been a roller coaster of a money journey. And I still think I've got a lot of way to go on my money journey, because I do need to, to save and be more thrifty. I've certainly gone through the days of feast and famine.
Yeah.
Because there were times that, obviously, back in the day, I had a wedding business, so it was really, really great in the summer, not so great in the winter. So I would literally spend my time buying tinned food in the summer when I had the money, and my cupboard under the stairs was like a little larder, because I knew in the winter I wouldn't have the money to buy food. But if I stocked up on things like tins and pastas and everything else, that would see us through.
Yeah.
So it is, it's completely different now. But like I said, I've still got a way to go, definitely, with like savings and investments. I think my Mulberry handbag's an investment. But yeah, it's certainly been one hell of a journey.
Yeah, that's absolutely fantastic. So yeah, we might need to chat about the Mulberry handbag and investment at some point separately. Yeah. So when you say that your money mindset and money blocks is what is there a specific thing that you learn that really went light bulb moment for you? Was there like a phrase or a training that you did that really did it for you?
I've learned a lot. So I worked with a coach, and I learned what money blocks were, and I learned actually how other people's opinions of money affected mine.
Yeah.
But I've also found that I've had different money blocks at different periods of times in my life. So it's things like, so first of all, I have little post-it notes everywhere. So I have one in my purse that says stuff like money is a source of energy. It's designed to flow. And I believe that it is, yes, I spent, a lot of money yesterday, but actually I've had a lot of money come into me today. And, although I'm not essentially woo, I do kind of like think, well, yes, I made room for more money and more stuff to come in. And I have things like everything that I'm doing right now is for my family. But it was working out money blocks and things like I'm keeping myself in that position, because actually it's easier to keep myself in that position because that's where people expected me to be. And then as it went on, and I started to earn a little bit of money, but then I encountered another money block, and it was actually that I had a money block with my immediate family. I've got a husband and my two children are now 21 and 18. Yeah. But they are still, well, they're not financially dependent on me, but it had got to the stage where, every question I was asked was, Mum, can I borrow a tenner? Mum, can I have some petrol for my car? Mum, can I have this? Mum, can I have that? And actually I discovered that my money block was, why am I actually earning money? Because I'm not seeing any of it and I'm not enjoying any of it, because actually I'm having to help you guys out because your money mindset needs work. So it was actually working through that, and again being strict with myself and going, actually no, this is, if I'm going to take the time and work and earn the money, it was then helping them to understand that no, you've got to sort yourself out and I've got to be selfish. And it has caused some arguments. My daughter wanted to pay, my youngest daughter is quite good with money, but they both got a lump sum when they turned 18. My youngest daughter was very good. She's gone out and she's bought a car and everything with it. Eldest, I think it went behind a bar somewhere. But yes, so my youngest wanted to pay like the car in full. She wanted to pay the car insurance in full. But it was a case of, we knew that we'd have to pay it in full and have to wait a couple of months for the money to come back. Yeah. And I said, I'm not going to do that. I said, it's a choice. It's not something that you are obliged to do. You're doing this out of a personal choice, and I'm not going to leave myself £2,000 out of pocket because you want to make that personal choice. So she actually went and asked like the worst person she could ask for me, which was my mother-in-law, to borrow the money. And then my mother-in-law kind of like discovered how much money I earn. And she was like, well, why won't you lend Kelsey the money? And it was trying to explain that, no, this is, you know, if Kelsey, for argument's sake, needed the money for the car, if it was something of great urgency, I would never, ever see my children go without. No. But this wasn't about seeing my child go without. This was about her making a great financial decision for herself, because she was in a position to pay it in full. Bless her, she was just waiting for, you know, for the payments to come in. But yeah, there's still those little sources of arguments amongst the family, and it's quite weird now watching them. And I can see, okay, well, you've clearly got money mindset issues. But it's nice now I've worked through mine, to be able just to sit back and go, that's your issue, that's not mine. So when I leave now, rather than absorbing everything she's saying, or, you know, what anybody's saying, I now kind of like have Teflon around me. So I just go, that's fine. I get that you're just projecting your issues onto me. That's not, you know, there's no point in telling you not to, because you will anyway. But I can just leave now and just leave it at the door and not worry about it. But they do, it's interesting how the conversations that they do spark.
Yeah, no, it's interesting when you start thinking about your own money mindset, how you then look at other people and realize what their mindset is as well. I think once you know what you're looking for, you see it in so many other people, and you're like, I never realized that about them. It is quite fascinating. So yeah, no, interesting. No, I think that's really interesting, Shelley. Thank you so much for sharing your story. And you know, as you say, the more we learn about money mindset, the more we learn about money blocks, we can relate to that in our own lives. And then that's when you can make change and you can make improvements. And then that's when you can then move forward. Because if there's a money block blocking your future without actually getting over that or smashing that block out of the way, then you can't move forward, which I think is really, really important. So no, it's fascinating. Thank you very much for sharing your story with us. So as we're called the Money Compass, really important question for you today is, what is your favourite holiday destination? Because you must like holidays. I can't imagine that you don't.
I love holidays. I love holidays. This last couple of years has been horrendous for me because I just want to get on a plane. But my all-time favourite place is Egypt.
Oh, okay.
And Sharm el-Sheikh. So not actually, you know, the pyramids and stuff. And even though I think I've been to Egypt 3 times, because I've been to Sharm 3 times. I've never been to see the pyramids, because people have been to see it and they've said to me, like, the pyramids are on one side of the road and then there's like a KFC on the other side. And I'm just like, I don't think I want to see that. I think it will just ruin it for me. So but yeah, Sharm el-Sheikh, I absolutely love. And I know they had some, I think it was terrorist attacks or something a few years ago. And it just kind of made it a no-go place, which was such a shame, because it was always like our go-to to book a family holiday. It was our go-to place. We absolutely loved it. We loved the people, you know, the weather. Yeah, it was just beautiful.
It is that place to go to get some winter sun, isn't it? Because obviously with Spain is in the year, but summer, but certainly in the winter. Yeah, and to be fair, with the pyramids, if you're facing the right way, they look really nice. It's just if you go the other way, and also you can see Giza in the background. So you're like, there's a city just over there. And you're like, oh, I kind of was expecting it to be, you know, you imagine the pyramids and camels, but it's fine from one angle.
In the desert somewhere.
Yeah. And it's not.
How can you go? But how can you go to Egypt and not see it? I'm just like, because I don't want to be disappointed. I think if I go, it would be, and I'd rather not be disappointed.
Yeah, I would say if you have a symbol's worth a visit, if you're going to go back to Egypt, if you get a chance to go, probably better than the pyramids, I would say. So I liked it. It's been a few years since I was there, but I liked Egypt when I visited, so it's good. So Shelley, do you want to tell everyone where they can find you? You've told us earlier you're a business coach, so what sort of people, or who do you help, and tell everyone where they can find you?
So I primarily help ambitious but sometimes struggling female entrepreneurs to develop a transformational business strategy so that they can break free of overwhelm, because that's the thing that I find most about quite a few females in business is that we seem to be juggling. It's very stereotypical, but we do seem to be juggling a hell of a lot of balls. So I help them just take away that sense of overwhelm. They can grow, finally experience that freedom and the lifestyle that they desire. So that's what I do. And I absolutely love the situation, and it's not fun. I've had burnout. So I take all of the experience that I've had so that other people don't have to reach that point. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, I am at the Shelly Shulman. I'm actually just the Shelly Shulman on everything. So whether you want to find me on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, I'm literally the Shelly Shulman on everything. So come and follow me, and if you like stories about Mulberry bags, you'll probably see me posting some of those when I make my next purchase.
And we'll be discussing whether or not they're an investment, so that's fine. And obviously Shelley's details will be on the website as well, so if you go and check out after the podcast, you want to go and check out more details on where to find Shelley, you'll be able to find them all on our website. So thank you, Shelley, so much for joining us, and have a fabulous rest of your day.
And with that, we've completed today's episode. We hope you have enjoyed following along with us today and taking another step closer to a financially secure future.
If you've enjoyed today's podcast, you can head over to themoneycompass.co.uk, where you can find out more information, hints and tips from today's episode.
If you'd like to get more involved, share your own experiences and learn from a friendly community on a similar journey to you, why not join us in our Facebook group, The Money Compass, where we will support you in navigating your way to financial success.
Thank you for listening, and see you next time.